Back to the action with the basketball addicts, the series that had me up till 1:30. My sister was upset because I was making too much noise. There you go, a little high-low action from the San Antonio Spurs. But there it is right there, your boy Blake Griffin going off on Mr. Bane. I got to do my Bane impression.
I wondered who would break first, the Clippers or the Spurs.
It turns out the Spurs broke first. There you see Patty Mills doing what he does, contributing with the big triple. But unfortunately for Patty Mills and the Spurs, they did not have enough juice. The Clippers blew them out. The second half was not even a game. Chris Paul, Jamal Crawford getting contributions from all angles. This is the Clippers team we all envisioned 2 or 3 years ago when Chris Paul got added. They re-signed DeAndre Jordan. You thought you were going to see this team, but they finally found things. On the other side, the Spurs have lost a couple of things. Manu Ginobili not playing his traditional style. Tim Duncan couldn't turn it on. First things first, the one thing I want to talk about is the hack of DeAndre. Will this last? Can this last in this series?
Isn't Popovich the guy who invented the hack shack? Was he the first one to do it?
No.
I mean, it's
I thought it was
a thing, and yeah, they'll continue doing it in moments. This series is going to be awesome, and the Clippers served notice in this one that they're for real, and they were playing amazing down the stretch of the season. I'm shocked by this. I really thought San Antonio. I mean, it's one game, but I think the Clippers are showing that they might be a bigger thorn in the side of the Spurs than anyone expected.
Until I see the Spurs lose 4 times, I'm not counting them out.
Also
you
true.
said just one game.
Okay, but you also
very true.
One game.
But you also have to look at what you saw on the floor. Did you see anything in that game that encouraged you from the Spurs?
Absolutely.
What encouraged you?
The thing is, here's the thing with the Spurs. They do this every year.
It's true, absolutely.
They'll lose game 1s, they'll look shaky, and then watch the versions of themselves game 2. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think they're overwhelmed. I think they're a little shocked.
Overwhelmed? The Spurs
they were shocked. They were overwhelmed.
I don't think this is about the Spurs. The Clippers played a game.
They did.
They look really good right now. Blake Griffin
but
did
can
whatever
they play
he wanted.
4 games like that against the Spurs?
Well,
I don't think they can.
It'll be tough.
Were you guys surprised at the level of physicality in this game as we get photobombed by the DeRozan family? What up, D-Mar? But were you guys surprised by the level of physicality in this game?
It's the playoffs.
The Clippers at points were throwing Spurs around.
That's how you have to beat the
floor.
Spurs, though. That's how you have to beat the Spurs. You're not going to out-finesse the Spurs. You got to go physical with them. And, I mean, the Clippers are younger, more athletic. I just feel like, that's how if you're going to beat the Spurs, that's what you got to do.
And those guys, the Clippers are a team that needs to be punched around all the time. I mean, everyone at Thunder, they always punk that guy. They always punk those guys. So I think they're punching first, whatever. It's the playoffs. I'm not surprised.
And you know what else? We were talking the other day on this show, I think it was on Thursday. People were saying, Chris Paul, he always gets a pass. He hasn't. That guy has something to prove right now.
Absolutely.
And he is playing like it. He was also sensational in that game 1.
58 points between Blake and Chris Paul. But ladies and gentlemen, back to you, Kofi. Where was the big 3? Where were the Spurs' big 3? Where was DP?
Dude, it's just the Spurs are not used to physical play. That's what I'm saying. They had to take a step back.
Soft.
They're used to finesse games. Guys trying to out-finesse them, and that's when they're at their best. But when guys are throwing around like Blake, those were arcade dunks.
Yeah.
Just I thought like game sliders were up. True. You know what I mean? I was just like, this is the worst game of 2K I've ever seen in my life.
The Spurs used having their bench step up sometimes. They didn't. So, I mean, no big deal. They're going to come back and rebound.
All right, listen, we talked enough about this series, which I think is probably going to be the most exciting series. It's definitely going to 7 in my eye. I think so, personally, just for the caliber of the 2
go
teams.
7, yeah, I'll go 7.
But now we got to talk about the Warriors and the Pelicans. Now, if looking at the score in the first half of this game, you thought, okay, I can just turn this thing off. Right, but the Pelicans found something in the second half of game 1. They were down by 25, but they made it a 4-point game down the stretch. So is there a way, gentlemen, I will start with you, Dwayne Sweets Watson, because you're probably going to end up in the producer chair shortly.
Warriors.
Is there a way that the Pelicans can pull something out here in this series? No chance.
Davis is playing. No, I'm not.
Sweep?
I mean, 5.
5?
Okay.
Davis is playing phenomenal basketball. He's playing like an MVP guy for sure. But he goes down, that team is done. The Warriors cannot stop him, but he doesn't have enough pieces to help him make
Are the Warriors taking them too lightly, Dan Gladman? Draymond Green dancing.
No, I don't think Steve Kerr is going to let them take anyone
but
lightly.
they have very little playoff experience, and they're not getting the best test in their first round.
I think the Warriors are getting a good test. I mean, every team out there who's in the playoffs is a very good, competitive, tough team.
I would say 1 to 7.
New Orleans isn't going to push Golden State to the brink. Golden State's too good for that. But that That we've seen New Orleans coming down the stretch of the season, what they were able to accomplish as an inexperienced
Let's
team.
face it, this is the weakest series in the conference. Like every other series is good. Either team.
Yeah, but the Pelicans
doesn't take anything away from
earned their
it.
way in there. I mean, they fought the Thunder the whole way. Anthony Davis carried this team on his back. They're not chump change.
Before we go to break, Kofi, final comment goes to you.
Warriors.
I'm gonna stop calling you Kofi. All right,
Warriors, bro.
Warriors.
Splash Brothers.
Splash Brothers. All right, that's it.
With the real MVP.
You know what? He won already because he said Rudy T, so he feel like he's contributing enough to the basketball side of the show. When we return here on the Hangout, we got to talk about Derrick Rose, man. Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls matching up with the Bucks. Got matching up for Tibbs and Kidd. We'll be back. Hangout.